We are now here in what I call the middle six of Northside Church, and I'm going to continue this practice round by trying to throw different fairway drivers off the tee and see which ones I like to play. I'm probably going to throw a little bit more than usual off this tee because I want to try different flat lines. This is one of the more challenging holes, and the middle six is really the wooded, more technical part of the course. That was just too inside. That was almost what I wanted to do. I wanted to go straight that way. Let's try out the it. Try to point a little bit more this way. There we go. That's a little bit closer to what I wanted. Because I threw it too high, it touched some limbs, but that's very close to the basket. Let's try this FD now. I'm just going to keep doing this play. There's an outside play which I would use more stable discs for. Nah, I'm hooking it too much to the inside. So my next play is to do there, so if I miss early, then it's not maybe as bad. There we go. Too high. That's still 2/3 of the way down the fairway. So let's try low with this T-bird. There we go. That's a lot closer to what I wanted. Okay, so there's 2 or 3 decent throws there. All right, so the FD and Leopard were basically right now next to each other off the fairway. I would have had to try to get a hero shot to save par or a decent pitch out to maybe save bogey. With that said, I'm going to try my Aviator X3 at this TL lie. That was a late release, but it's curving around. That's a putt. All right, so with this T-bird throw, this is good in the sense that it's an easy par for me. So I'm going to do an upshot just with my putter. Perfect, that's a tap in. All right, last but not least, my it, which is what I'd like to get. You know, I can pretty safely get down here about 200 feet towards the basket. So now I've got a putt. This is a soft birdie bid. I kind of fluffed it. I didn't have a yip, I just didn't give it enough power. All right, and as you might expect, these are some tap ins here for par. And this Aviator X3 that I threw a little too aggressively, a little too late with my backswing. I'm going to go ahead and try to get one of these in to save a par, or I'd say to make a par. All right, so for hole 8, it doesn't really indicate any out of bounds here per se, but in theory I could see this, if this were a lake with water in it, that could be OB, but it's basically dry. So, and I don't have the caddy book yet, so I can't tell what is going to be OB or not. So I'm gonna throw 3 short range, mid-range discs towards the basket for an inbounds play. All right, so I'm going to go with a Mako 3 first, and all I want to do is get just shy of that pond. That's about on the edge. There's no indications whatsoever of any out of bounds over there. There's no lines or anything, so I'm guessing. Here's my MD3 or mid disc 3 by Innova. That was a little too low and fluffed. It's like I let go of it before it fell out of my hand. Before it didn't rip free from my hands, I let go of it. Here's my Shark 3. That went past the MD3. That's at the edge as well. Now I'm going to go for a little bit of distance. I'm going to skip my Leopard and go straight to the FD, and the TL. I just want to see how far I can get in this tunnel. Not as far as any of my mid-ranges. Let's try this again, but without the grip lock. There we go. Too high and too hyzer. Now my TL. There we go. That's what I considered an 85% power throw. And not to be outdone, I'm going to try my Star Mamba and my 2 other distance drivers and see if I can get closer towards that. I'm presuming there's no out of bounds with this play. If I read the caddy book and see there's some out of bounds there, I'll adjust my decision accordingly. Okay, that's pretty good. Now my G-Star Mystere. Too high, too hyzer. And a limb. Last but not least, this Wraith. I can tell I'm not pulling through correctly. The swing, whatever you want to call it, I can tell I'm not doing something right. There we go. That's close to what I want. Oh, it's high and hyzered again. Okay, that's not the play. So this it represents my worst throw, which is barely 100 feet off the tee with 100 plus feet to go towards the basket. My best mid-range layup play is this Mako 3, which is at the edge here and gives me a good 100 feet towards the basket, maybe a little bit more. And if this is not OB, this TL is my best fairway driver play. Gives me a good 90 feet towards the basket. And my Mamba there, Star Mamba, is a good maybe 65 feet away from the basket. Unfortunately, there was a smudge on that screen, so I had to clean that. Hopefully it's cleaner now. Anyways, 120, 140 out. That's good enough for a look. Let me try one more throw just as a correction, see if I can actually get closer to it. And indeed, I did. All right, and here's that Mamba. I'm gonna just, if this indeed is legal, this is the play I'd want to have. And I just want a couple attempts. I just want a attempt to get under the basket, which I am. All right, so that's the farthest one out. And all 3 of these are tap-ins, so I'm gonna practice a little bit from the farthest one out. All right, nobody behind me, so I'm gonna practice this 20 plus footer. Whew. Really, for novices like myself, this is a little bit of a nightmare, this hole, but I'm gonna see what I can do to get across safely. All right, so all I want is safely across. So I'm not gonna put a lot of power on this. That got through everything, didn't touch a tree. Now I'm gonna try the Star It, same deal. That right there is the best throw I've ever done on this hole. Now my FD. All right, I can work with that. All right, so my Leopard was a really good throw, but my It was far better. So what I'm going to do, I'm gonna practice from both of these lies. Again, I'm gonna try the Pig. It used to be in the old days, I would try with the Navy Yard to go straight through there, but now I'd rather just go around and hyzer around and just get it close to the basket. So I'm gonna try a couple hyzers with these overstable putters. That's a tap in. And that's another tap in. If I get within the bullseye on any of these upshots, I consider those a tap in because I can get anything basically within 11 feet. Oh yeah, all 4 tap ins. All right, I'd consider all these tap ins with the exception of this one. This one's about 12 feet. Whew. And given the length of this hole and the frequency in which I hit trees en route, I really just want a safe bid with the mid-range. So I'm going to try 3 mid-ranges. Based on how that does, maybe I'll do some fairways. I wasn't aiming for that tree, but my body threw directly at it. That's more of a correction that I'd like. All one is through. That's my MD3, here's my Shark 3. Oh, that I tried to rip it, and that's what happened there. All right, I'm gonna try again, a sort of a finesse type throw, not the rip it type throw, because that was a mistake. Yep, really that's all I want. Kind of low and straight and flat. Fairway. That was again me ripping it. So with it and the Mako 3, those were my decent throw attempts. I can likely save par from here. With that said, let me try the middle of the road fairway driver position and see. Okay. Yep. Oh, that one's going to be a tester. I'm going to have to practice that putt. All right, and here's a couple birdie attempts. Same for here. Actually, there we go. 3 very easy pars and a challenging par. All right, look at this. This is actually very challenging. I don't have an easy way of putting to this basket from here. So really, unless I can do something creative, I'm basically screwed on that one. So this is a very challenging lie. For me to try to make a putt, I have to straddle, patent pending. Yeah, I would just lay this up. There's basically no way I'd get that. Okay, so in my opinion, I think this is more of a forehand if you got it. But for me, given I'm backhand dominant, I have to go with a fairway driver or a mid using backhand. So really, I just want to get through this gap of 2 trees. My plan is likely going to be throwing a little putter or putting just to get past these. But I'm going to try 3 attempts at getting through these with the mid-range or fairway. No. Try standstill. Nope. That's the only one that got through. Now I'm going to try, this is really what I want to do. Just try one of these R Pro Aviars. Just try to minimize potential for damage. See if I hit a tree, doesn't go far. That's a very smooth upshot. And the other 2 attempts I would actually try would be literally a putt. Just to get past. Yep. That's all I want to do. That's technically the tournament play I feel comfortable doing because I know how to putt. So you see these two putts are in a decent position where I can now actually try to do a throw that's relatively unobstructed. And I've got a couple options. I'm going to try a Mako 3 backhand. And now I'm going to try a Rock X3 forehand. Just to get forward. Basically, if I land anywhere in here, I expect a bogey on this hole. Okay, here's one of the two putter throws that I did. I don't see the other one offhand, but I'm going to show you a couple options I would try if I were in this position. Backhand and forehand. That was AVR 3 and AVR X3. All right, and here's my successful fairway throw. That one's right under the basket. All right, I've got someone behind me, so I've got to wrap things up on this hole. But on the Mako 3, made it that far, and the others are challenging putts. Well, that AVR 3 is a little bit of a challenging putt, but the others are tap-ins. All right, I let him play through. The sun is right there. I had to arrange the camera in a way to where it's not blinded by the glare, and I've got 3 fairway drivers. I'm going to try Leopard It FD, and I'm just going to try to get across. Fell off the tee pad. That is probably the best throw I've ever done here. Let me start a little bit over this way instead of this way so I don't fall off the pad. That's just off the fairway, but in a pretty close spot. In theory, I could gain a par out of that, or save a par out of that one. Now let me try the FD. Put a tiny bit too much on it, so it flare skipped just into the woods there. You know what? I'm going to try my mid-ranges. Let's try the Mako 3 first. I just want to get to the edge of that. I don't want to go through the forest, basically. See, that's as far as I want to get. Come close to getting to the forest, but I'm at the edge there. Potentially a par save from there. Let's try the same thing with the MD3. That's perfect, right at the edge. Now let's try the Shark 3. All right, those will be challenging upshots. All right, so if I could land here every single time in every casual round or tournament, I would take it. I'm just over 100 feet away from the basket. And these two mid-ranges, these are potential upshots with a sidearm. My IT or IT made it there. That's a potential patent pending to this basket. And the best throw by far was that Leopard, my initial throw at the Leopard, which is straight up and down the fairway. That's what I'd love to have. And this FD, very similar. Decent spot to there. I'm not really sure if you can see this given the lighting, but this is the one I'm going to try to practice because the others were in bad positions for camera work. So yeah, those are 2 easy putts. All right, so this is what I'm going to practice right here, this putt. There we go, easy par. The middle 6 holes are the most technically challenging ones in the course, but the upside is it's also the most heavily shaded area of the course. I also have some good news regarding the tournament. The registration deadline was moved back a day, so if you want to play in the same tournament that Sean and I are playing this weekend, you have an extra day to register if you haven't done so already. So Friday night at 8 p.m. is now the deadline, and there are some spots open left if you're free this Saturday. So I hope to see you there. Thank you very much for watching, and have a great day.